Hey English 111. This week I'm going to talk to you about 2 weeks of class. So this lecture video will cover this week for writing your argument essay and next week for participating in your peer edit. So I'm going to go over both. All right, so first let's talk about your actual argument essay. Sunday you guys should have submitted a thesis last Sunday, and I will get feedback to you on those as quickly as I can, but I want you to go ahead and move forward with writing your paper. So you're going to actually write your argument paper this week, and in this week I'm going to go over this PowerPoint that's underneath the writing tips. I'll talk about the writing tips in a moment, but right now you want to go ahead and open up your PowerPoint, MLA format, and argument essay. It is imperative that you follow the expectations from this PowerPoint when you turn in this argument essay. Please remember that the argument essay is 30% of your grade, and it is extremely important that you put in the effort on this paper. The grade is composed of the annotated bibliography, which you guys just turned in. That's a 50-point assignment. Your rough draft and your peer edit. So your rough draft that you turn into me is 25 points, and then a peer edit form that you're turning into me is the other 25 points, so that's 50 points. And then the final draft, which is 100 points, and that's what makes up that 30% of your grade. So you don't want to miss any of those things. So a quick review of MLA format, because your papers are expected to be in MLA format. It needs to be Times New Roman 12-point font. It needs to be double spaced. There needs to be a header at the top right and a heading on the first page with all 4 things and the date properly formatted. Your title should be centered. It should be indicative of the content of your paper, not just argument paper. It should not be bolded, underlined, quotation marks, or anything like that. Times New Roman 12-point font, the same as everything else. Make sure you use Purdue OWL if you want to check your paper format, or you can go back at the beginning of the semester where I give you examples. You are required to use in-text parenthetical citations and to have a works cited page that is properly formatted. Your in-text citations should be MLA format. They should include the first word or few words of the full citation. So if it's an author's last name, you need to have that. If there are page numbers listed in the citation on the works cited page, I expect to see page numbers in the parenthetical citation in the text. If it's an author, it's the last name and then the page number. If there is no author, make sure that you're using the title in quotation marks within the parenthetical citation. Your works cited page is the last page of your paper. It should be entitled Works Cited with an S because you're required 5 to 7 sources. It should be in alphabetical order. It should have hanging indentations. It should be MLA formatted citations, not APA. Make sure that you use Purdue OWL. Make sure you check my student examples. Make sure you get this done correctly. If you do not have a works cited page or a in-text citation throughout the paper, you will receive a failing grade. That is super important to know. So if I open the paper and there are no citations, I will not continue to read it. It will get a 25. If I open the paper and there is no works cited page, I will not continue to read it. You will get a 25. So please be sure that you do this. The essay requirements. You are only using articles from the LRC database, scholarly articles. I should not see Google searches, websites, or anything else on your works cited page. You are required to use 5 to 7 scholarly articles. You are allowed to use Procon as an additional source, so meaning you need 5 articles and then Procon, and it only counts as 1 source. Make sure that your article is full text and peer reviewed. You should have already done that for your annotated bibliography. This is super important. Expectations for academic paper. I do not want to see personal pronouns in this paper. I do not want to see contractions in this paper. You should never directly address the reader. So nothing like, imagine a world, okay? You're implying a you, which is a personal pronoun, and you're directly addressing the reader. You're only presenting research in this paper. It doesn't matter what you think or what you feel. You're presenting a thesis statement that is unbiased, that is third person, and you are presenting research from scholarly articles to back up that argument. It does not matter what your opinion is, what your beliefs are, what your feelings are, what you think. Do not end your paper with "in conclusion, it's bad writing, I don't want to see it." You should never use it, like ever again, in your writing, ever. Do not ask questions in the paper. You make statements. And make sure you're spelling out all numbers under 100 and all symbols. Those are some basic expectations. Your grading criteria: if your paper is not in MLA format, you're going to be heavily penalized. It needs to be properly formatted. That's one of the things you should know when leaving this course. If you don't have citations or a works cited page, you will fail. Make sure you have a clear thesis statement and make sure that it's the last 2 sentences of your introductory paragraph. It is imperative that everything you present in your paper ties back to that thesis statement. Make sure that your topic is allowed. Okay, so if you choose to write about a banned topic, so you turn in a paper on abortion or gun control or immigration, it's gonna get a 25. I'm not gonna read it. And completely remove yourself from the writing, third person only. And then I just give you guys some helpful websites at the end of the PowerPoint for the library database, Purdue OWL, and writing an argument essay, so use those. Let's talk about your writing tips. Your introduction should be simple, it should be short, it should not take up a whole page, and your thesis should be the last 2 sentences of your introductory paragraph. Make sure that your background information on your topic is not more than a paragraph. Most of it should be presenting information for your argument. Follow the formula for your paragraph structure. You need a topic sentence. The topic sentence is what the whole paragraph is about. Then you provide data or examples or backup or research to prove whatever it is you're saying. And then you need to have a concluding sentence, which is usually a transition into your next paragraph. Never use I statements. Focus on the facts, not your opinion. Do not talk about yourself. Take yourself out of the writing. Make sure you edit your work. Use Grammarly. It's a free resource and it really does a lot to help you with basic grammar issues. Make sure that you're providing an in-text citation when you're taking information from sources, whether it is a direct quote or a paraphrase. That's super important. Make sure that you're including page numbers in your parenthetical citation. Very important. Make sure that everything that's listed on your works cited page is cited in the paper, parenthetically, and everything that's listed parenthetically within the paper is also showing up on the works cited page. I don't want to see your annotated bibliography serving as your works cited. An annotated bibliography, which you turned in already, has your citations on there, but that is not a works cited page. Your works cited only has citations. There are no annotations. Make sure you include some sort of an outline with your final draft. It does not count towards your word requirement, and it should be behind your works cited page, not in front of your paper. The annotated or the outline should be the last thing that's in there, okay? Just copy and paste whatever you used for an outline. You should outline your paper before you write it. It does not have to be a beautiful MLA outline like you turned in for your literary analysis, but make sure that you're using some sort of organization before you jump right in and write this paper. Your final draft for the paper is due on November the 24th. Let me double check. Yep. Your final paper is due on November the 24th. There is and this is outlined in your syllabus, there is a 24-hour grace period. So it's not the 5-day grace period, 24 hours. So it's due on the 24th of November. You have until the 25th of November to turn it in with a late penalty of minus 15 points. So that means if you earned like an 80 on the paper, but you turned it in late, then it's actually going to end up being a 65. So don't do that. The cutoff is November 25th at 11:55. I will not accept late papers. Okay, so I have some resources here for you. Please use them. It talks about how to write an introductory paragraph, how to organize your introductory paragraph. There is a student example And there are 2 student examples. You have to look at both of these to do your journal this week. My suggestion is, before you even start to write the paper, go ahead and do your journal and look at these student examples and then answer the questions. Do not use yes or no for these questions. Explain. Show me that you read the papers and that you understand. You have a rough draft due to me this week. I'm not expecting it to be complete, but I do want to see in your rough draft at least 1,000 words. Remember, your paper is 1,250 to 1,500, so you may not be completely there, but you should be close. It should have 1,000 words, it should include parenthetical citations, and it should include a works cited page. Make sure your rough draft is formatted properly. I'm going to give you guys feedback on the rough draft, okay? So you will continue to work as I'm working on your feedback, but you will get some feedback by, your feedback will be provided to you by like November 18th or 19th, okay? So it'll give you some time to, look at what I have to say before you turn in a final draft. Okay, so for this week, you're gonna turn in that rough draft. Your rough draft is worth 50 points. My mistake. Your rough draft is worth 50 points. And you will be given partial credit, 25, if it is less than 1,000 words. There is no works cited page and there are no citations. If any of those things are missing, you get half credit. So make sure that you get those things done. Next week, you guys are going to use this peer edit forum to complete a peer edit. The way that you are going to do this is you are going to click on the peer edit forum, create a thread, write your name in the thread title, like, mine would be Siobhan Brewer Rough Draft. Then in that thread, I'm going to upload my Microsoft Word document, okay, for the rough draft. That creates my thread with my paper to be peer edited. Then what you need to do is open up someone else's thread. If they have not had anyone respond to their paper saying they will edit it, you respond and say, I will edit this paper. Once you have signed up to edit a paper, or anyone has signed up, no one else should be editing that paper. Find another one that doesn't have an editor. If you upload a draft and then you sign up for one, it should work out. It should even out, okay? So don't sign up to edit a paper until you upload your draft, okay? And don't say you're gonna edit someone's paper if someone else already has. You are going to use the peer edit form that is here. You're going to download it to your computer. You're also going to download their paper to your computer. You are going to utilize the comment feature, and you are going to insert comments on their paper and then save it. Then you are going to complete the peer edit form. You're going to save that. You'll go back to the forum, go to their thread where you said you would edit their paper, and you're going to make another little comment on there, and you're going to upload for them the edited paper with comments and the form. Those 2 things, okay? So you need to make sure that you get your paper submitted to the forum Monday, and you need to complete your peer edit for whoever you choose by, Sunday, okay? So it gives you a full week. Then, after you complete your peer edit form, your journal for this week, you're also going to upload that peer edit form to the journal. That's where you're getting the grade for the peer edit, okay? Hopefully everyone understands this. And that's all we're working on this week. There is a parallel structure PowerPoint. I want you to review it. It's a really good PowerPoint about how to use parallel structure properly so that your writing sounds good. Next week, you guys have the week to revise your papers. So you will get your peer edit back, you will get your rough draft feedback from me, and I highly suggest that you next week make revisions and submit your paper to NetTutor and get some feedback from them. The final draft of your paper for this class will be due on November 24th. So that's what we're working on for like the next 3 weeks, writing a rough draft, revising the draft, and then turning in the final draft. If you guys have questions, as always, you can shoot me an email and I will get back to you as quickly as I can. Good luck with your writing. Make sure that you follow the expectations, and contact me if you have any questions.